Well, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are watching us from. This is The 30. I want to welcome you to The 30. My name is Patrick Jackman. I am the host of The 30 and the founder of the Jackman Group LLC, the producers of The 30. Again, I want to thank you. If this is your first time joining us on The 30, this is where we interview leaders, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and those that are doing some positive and great things in communities around the world. So make sure that you tell someone, you share this with your communities, with your tribes. Let them know that The 30 is here. We do this every week. So whether you're watching it live or in replay, I want to say thank you, and thank you for the opportunity for bring us into your house, your home, or you may be on the beach, or you may be hanging out outside. Thank you for the opportunity. Tonight, we are going to talk leadership and entrepreneurship. And I have a good friend of mine coming all the way from Houston, Texas. The Houstons, I guess, I don't know what is going on with their football team, but we're going to talk about that as well. But we're going to talk about entrepreneurship and business. So I'm not going to delay this. I want you to help me welcome Dorita Hatchett. And Dorita, welcome to The 30.
Hi, Patrick. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, yes. I know we've talked for a pretty long time. I think we've known each other over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yep. And we have some common threads, some common people that we know. Tell our viewers, Dorita, who is Dorita and what does she represent?
Well, I'm Dorita Hatchett, and I represent a lot of things. I am a small business owner, have been really since 2003, in and out doing different things like entrepreneurs do, but I've been full-time since 2014. Really a long history in higher education, project management, planning, events and strategy. And really in about 2014, after I left the last job that I had, I decided that I was really going to bet on me and, hang my shingle out and, and see where it took me and see if I could do this thing and sustain. If I was going to work that hard for people, then I could work for myself that hard. So I'm a strategist. Didn't really know that, wouldn't have used those words 7 years ago. Everyone who knows me kind of looks at me as an event planner. They call me for their event. But really, Patrick, what was going on is they had some dream or something they were trying to do. They were trying to get it out. And the way they saw it was through some event, or that's how they're going to tell people, or they were really launching. And I would start asking all these questions. And my mode was always to get to the bottom of the why and really the what, and help them find a path to get it done so that they didn't waste money or time and lose the opportunity to do what it was that maybe, God gave them the vision to do, and they weren't off track about that. And when I started thinking, what is that really? Then I started saying, no, I'm a chief strategist. I help you figure out how to get there. I help you figure out how to get it done, get it launched, get it out there.
So you have chief strategist. Is it the same as passion strategist, or is it one and the same, or is it different?
It's one and the same, because it is I call it chief strategist, meaning I'm the top person and, the buck stops with me in my company. It's me. But it's a passion strategist. It's really about, what is it that you desire to do? What is that burning in your in your tummy, and what keeps you up at night, or what excites you? What do you wake up thinking about? What do you roll over and write in your little secret journal? And what do you only tell the closest people to you that you want to do because you're not sure you can do it? You're afraid to do it. What decisions do you have to make to do it? All of that is sitting there. And when, I work with people, I help them figure out that A, whatever that was is possible. And then B, let's put a plan together to see you get there.
Nice. Now, we had a conversation when you're in the green room, you talked about, and I know this is something that you do, the big idea where you take people's ideas and you do things with it to help them along. Tell us about that and walk us through the process if you can, please.
Yeah, so I had to really honestly create the process or the name of the process after it was something I always did, because it's a way of thinking. It's a way of how my mind works when people are sharing something with me that is just, um, they know God breathed it into them. They know that it's something they were meant to do, purpose to do. They don't want to take it to the grave. And so that really looks like spending time listening to their ideation, asking them to brain dump, essentially.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'll ask them, I'll say, if you were there, if you were in the room right now and it was happening, what would it look like? Like, what's happening? Who's there? Like really get them to visualize themselves in that position, doing what it is they think they should be doing. And generally speaking, if a person knows enough of that and they know their content and they can explain it to me, then my gift is to give it back to you in a way that we can make it happen.
Hmm.
I don't always know when. Sometimes I'll say, well, I don't know, man, this could be, wow, we could be doing this in 30 days, or it might be a year, or, okay, well, here are all the things that are missing. So, it's really this ideation, and then it's developing, like, is there really a market for it? And by market, I mean that generically, does someone need it? Does a group need it? What problem do you solve? And how do we put that out there? And then we evaluate resources. We talk about what they have, what they need, who they need to know. And then, we get them to sort of activate it and do it. And we learn, we grow, we get information, and we figure out how to either make it better, bigger, whatever that is. But, I really do have a gift for helping people start something, launch something that they didn't think they were able to do.
Wow, and that is a special gift because not everyone can do it. Most people want it close to the finished product, but you're looking back and says, okay, I'm going to help you. I know it's in there somewhere. Let's get it out.
I have a friend, and we've been friends for years and years and years. And the thing that God blessed me with is a memory, and I'm institutional memory for people, and I hold space for things. And so someone might be talking to me about something, then 5 years later we're talking and it triggers my memory, and I'm like, remember when you told me that you wanted to write that book?
Wow.
And the book was supposed to be, and then and I have a girlfriend like that. We were talking and I did her like that. Then she called me afterwards and she said, I was in tears after we talked because we had that conversation 10 years ago. Wow. And I didn't do it. And she says, and I've always still been meaning to, and you put that right back in my spirit and you reminded me and I could do it. And so, she's almost ready to publish now. But yeah, I hear what people are saying. And I learned years ago, Patrick, I didn't know what it was at first, but I learned to really listen to what people are telling me, because I figured out that my gift was matching them with somebody else that they needed. And so I struggled a lot in my business because I kept thinking it didn't involve me. Sure. And so they would tell me, and then we would talk, and I would go away. And usually within 7 to 10 days, God would show me why he made that conversation happen. Or another person would come to me, like someone might say, oh, I really want to build a home for people who aged out of the foster care system. And I would say, tell me about it. And they would tell me, and we'd talk, and well, why can't you do that? Or what do you need to do that? And we'll talk about it. And then somebody else will come to me and they might say something like, you know what? I want to do this home for like kids who aged out of foster care. And when I started recognizing how often it happened, then I started paying attention and being intentional about it. So when people are sharing that stuff with me, I understand that this is their deepest heart's desire. And so I'm inquisitive. I think I ask a lot of great questions, and then I have information, and usually I'll walk away and pray about it. And I'll say, well, God, well, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, who are they meant to be with? Who are they meant to serve? And it used to be where I would call someone and I'd put people together, and then they would go and they'd make beautiful things happen and make money. And then I'd be sitting on the outside going, wait, what happened? What happened?
What about me? What about me?
I got left out of this entirely, you know. For a year, I hosted an event and I paid for it, Patrick. And I put people with people. I gave them like warm leads. I mean, hot leads, people who purchased and they sold it and they were like, yay. And then I was at home, like paying bills going, wait, what happened today? I didn't make any money.
That's great. But you know, that's a blessing, because you will get that back 100, 1,000-fold, because you've blessed others and served. See? Right.
It's showing up now. I've done it for years.
There you go.
And so there's people now who'll say they're not surprised. And sometimes I am, because I wasn't in it for whatever that was.
Yeah.
I was really just acknowledging that I knew that was something I do well.
Sure.
And I'm gifted at, and I couldn't figure out how to monetize it in the middle for a long time. And now, especially after COVID, that whole everybody had to step back and do things differently and come at another angle really did something. God used that time to really bless me, bless my business, get me clear on what that was, get me confident in what that was so that I could speak to it. And people who are for me, they're attracted to me.
Yeah.
So it's not for everybody, but yeah, I love those calls, because sometimes for the first 5 minutes, Patrick, I'm thinking, why are they telling me this? And I'm going, I don't know anything about fracking in Alaska, you know. So
but
then
for you.
Yeah. So, and then in my head, I start thinking, and I'm going, okay, so tell me about that. Right. So what do I have to know? You know, and okay, explain to me how it happens. And they're very clear. They know, and I'm smart, and they'll tell me things. And then I'm like, well, it sounds to me like you might need to do, you know, or, well, what are the laws about that? You know, I'll start Googling, you know, and that it just takes off.
Wow. So if someone was to ask you, and I'm asking you this now, is what is your client profile? What does it look like? Is there a particular space that you're in?
A space where maybe I would say small business, okay. Or really entrepreneurs. It's the kind of person who they may not be taking the risk, but they are a risk taker, if that makes sense. Huh. You know, an entrepreneur type is really a risk taker.
Yes.
At various levels.
Yes.
And so I call it an entrepreneur because they are willing to do something different. They will be willing if you show them how, let me put it that way. They may not even know it in the minute that they're actually talking about the thing they want to do. They don't even know they're about to go down a path. Sure. But they are that person really deep down. They don't really fit in other places because they have these ideas that are outside of the box, that are outside of what people are trying to do and box them in to do. And, you know, they have trouble just at jobs doing mundane tasks because they're figuring out how to do it better, bigger, different, serve more people. And like, how can I do that? You know, so they're big dreamers is what I call it. You know, and one of my coaches, we were talking about something and she goes, "You're like a dream doula." And that's why I put that in my thing. I said, I saw that. Yeah. I said, you know, I started saying it's a business doula because I help you birth that thing. So I've had established business owners, multi-million-dollar business owners. And like I said, we were talking in the green room that after I heard years and years of conversation and she'd call and I'd do this for her and that for her and a little event here and a little event there. And when I got the sense of what she really was doing, she's really all about using her gifts to bless the community. And when I said, you should formalize that so that other people can join you. You have big ideas, great ideas. You're always supporting people. You're always cutting a check. You know, let's talk about this nonprofit thing. And she does major gifts of art and major gifts of production and things like that. And this was not even on her radar 3 years ago.
Wow.
You know, just, things like that. And so sometimes you look back, we have gotten far out sometimes and then went back and looked and thought, God, you remember that first conversation we had? I have a girlfriend who's talked for years about having a home for unwed teenage mothers, and knowing that she wasn't going to have children herself. But that's really who she is. She's motherly type and wants to help people do better and be better. And, maybe had a financial situation that didn't look good and all of that. 3 years ago, we're talking about it. How do you get a home? How do you start going to foster care classes? If you're willing to put in the time and the effort and be patient and know that it's coming, then I can work with you all day. I mean, if it's like, no, it's got to happen now and this way, you can do anything with money and time.
Sure.
So, okay, if you got a lot of money, we can rush this. Maybe you have to be patient. And during COVID, she was the first person when I wasn't sure what direction I was going to go in that called me, and everything, maybe credit not so good, and got her house.
Wow.
Got a large house.
Wow.
And then called me at the beginning of the year, got her first mother in there with her child.
What a blessing.
And we have talked about that for years. And I have so many people in my life that, I could sit there whenever I hear something, I write names and I go, this is for that person. This is for that person, especially if they're just saying, I don't know what to do with this. It's an idea. And then there are the people who are like, no, I know exactly what I want to do. Here's where I'm trying to go. By this time next year, this is really what I want to do. And let's sit down and we start saying, okay, so then what's missing? Where's the gap? How do we fill the gap?
So you are the idea to implementation guru.
I am. I'm claiming it. I am.
That's right. You are that.
Wouldn't have done it a few years ago, but I am, and I'm not ashamed, and I love it, and it blesses me.
So what shifted? What changed from then to now? Hold that thought. Let me just reset it here. So I'm talking to Dorita Hatchett, and she is the CEO of Hatchett, Hatchett and Associates. And make sure I'm going to put her information up shortly. But if you have a big idea, this is what we're talking about now, and you want to take that idea from the idea stage to implementation and execution, you really need to talk to Dorita, the chief strategist, the guru. So what changed?
The business doula.
The business doula.
My big thing for people when they have a big idea was the epiphany I went through. And that one, it was to decide. It was to decide to do it. And for me, it was to decide to call it what it was. And I'm not sure why I haven't, really gotten to all of that yet, but I was playing small. And because of what I do and the way that I do it and the way that I think, I'm always the person who is behind the person who is the personality. And who's doing the thing and the big thing. And I'm a person you want on your team when you got something big you're trying to do. So sure. I am in the back. I am the number 2 person. That's where I knew that was my spot. I've tried to define it various ways over the years and all of that. And then I realized, even with COVID, I have to step out and tell people what I do to find my people. I need my people to find me. I've been blessed since I formed in 2003 that I've never marketed. I've never actually put anything out there. People have it's come to me.
Wow.
Now that's not a good business strategy though. Let me just say that.
But it's a blessing.
It's a blessing, but it's not a strategy because you don't know. Sometimes it doesn't come. And when I realized, hey, I got to treat my business like a business and be business, that meant putting people in my pipeline. That meant stepping out, talking about it, owning it, sharing it with people, building relationships before you need anything. I don't want anything from you. You don't want anything from me. We're getting to know each other. We're just supporting each other. And then when I look up, the resources I need are there because I've put in the work to get there. I try to teach people that skill as well. Especially people I know, they're writing a book. The book's going to take a year, and they want to wait and write it and publish it and go buy a bunch of copies and put it in the trunk of their car. And it's like, no, let's do some things. There are strategies and tips and techniques of things that you do now.
Right.
How to get a tribe, how to get people following you, how to get people knowing who you are. When this book launches, you should already have this many people ready to buy it. And how do you do that? That's relationship building and nurturing that. And once I decided I had to do that for myself as well, and I had to be willing to tell people what I do and step in that confidently and do it and quit acting like I was afraid. And, even here, this is my year of yes. People have been asking me to talk on their platforms. I would have never done this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Never. I'm an extroverted introvert.
Well, we both share the same personality then, because I would never have done this a couple of years ago, but COVID changed things. So here we are, right? We're both stepping out of our comfort zone, and growth is only experience when we step out of our comfort zone.
In March, when it happened, I sat back for about a week. And the people were debating. People were like, oh, people are scared. People are nervous. Don't make people feel bad for jumping out and doing this and doing that. And I just felt like for me that God said, move. He said, get after it. And so I remember about a week later, I went live. I did something like this, and I did a show for several weeks. I have about 15 shows in a can or whatever. And we went live, and I was just doing anything. I was like, what do y'all want to talk about? Here's what I think you should be talking about. Let's talk about PPP loans. Let's talk about nonprofits and PPP loans. Let's talk about while we're in this situation and we're shut down, get your act together, get your business together. If you haven't put your documents together, okay, we've been praying for things to slow down. You've been saying, if only I had time, I would do X. Now we have time. So I was encouraging people, do that X. Let's do it. Let's all go do our X. And so for me, that was speaking for myself and starting to step into what I knew I really was meant to do, try to conquer that fear. And I think somebody said, what do you do with the negative self-talk? And I don't know specifically.
This is Scotty. Scotty says, everyone has negative self-talk. What was yours and how did you overcome it? So that's the question.
Being worthy of any type of success for me.
Okay.
And so I have, since I was in high school, I have been behind people pushing. I'm a great cheerleader. I'm going to make sure you get it. I want it as much as you do. Sometimes I want it more than you do. And I had to learn to stop that. Stop wanting everybody else's vision more than you want the vision for yourself.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. That is deep.
And I did. I mean, and sometimes I would get disappointed. Sometimes I would do too much. I'd be so attached to your stuff. And then you didn't want your stuff. And then I, well, what's happening right here? What am I going to do now that we don't have your stuff? And I'm like, what is that? I had to really check myself and just say, you know what? You have dreams. I remember verbalizing, Patrick, years ago. I verbalized to someone, I don't know. I mean, like I'm in awe of people who have these big dreams. And I said, I really don't. What I love to do is help people build theirs.
Wow.
And I thought, I still mean that, but in a different way. I do want it for me. And I think that was fear.
Yeah. You know what we call fear, false evidence appearing real, right? But by you helping them, you're helping yourself, because you can't get wealthy or you can't accomplish your dreams without helping others accomplish theirs.
Well, yeah, you think about at some point when you look up and your stuff isn't together, or you don't have what you would like to have. You don't have the life that you want to have.
Yeah.
And I think there's a space for all of it.
Absolutely.
And all I had to decide was I am deserving of it. And I've put in a lot of work over the years. I've helped a lot of people, and it's time to help myself, and it's time to lean on those relationships. And even though what I'm growing is a business of still helping other people, I am still growing my business in that.
That's right.
Whether that's my value, What do I charge? The fact that I do charge, because so many times I would get so excited that they shared it with me and I could help them, and ego a little bit and all of that. And it was like, you got a bill to pay, honey.
I think
unless you want to go get a job,
I think we're all there. We've all experienced that. We all fall into that trap. Tiffany is saying here, you are a mirror. There you go.
And I love Tiffany. Tiffany's a trainer. Oh, Tiffany, you need to know Patrick. Oh, she has a company called Trainer. She has a program in her company, which is VRE Training, Global Training Solutions.
Okay.
And her motto is trainers are dope. And nice. Tiffany just stepped out and did her first summit about 2 weeks ago now. And I ended up supporting her in that journey. But Tiffany and I talked about that last October.
Okay.
And so sometimes when I say business doula, I don't want to be arrogant, but what it is that I held that.
Sure.
I see it. I know. And until they see it, we can't do anything with it. But when they see it and they call me and go, I got it, let's go, I'm ready to go with them.
There you go. So Tiffany, let's hook up. Drop me your information in the chat. Here's Stephanie. Here's the wife. She's saying you are inspiring. Stepping out of your comfort zone is where growth happens.
I could literally feel the growth, Patrick. Thank you, Stephanie. I could feel it. I could feel the transformation in me physically and spiritually. And I felt bad for a while during the pandemic. I felt bad because even though it wasn't about money for me, but it was about growth. And I could feel myself on a journey and a path. And in a way, that's how I met you, Patrick. I mean, we met each other. I can't even count the people. I started trying and I said, people will never believe that I probably have 1,000 new relationships from last year. And I mean, like real, okay, let's say 400 are real. And I mean, I never would have met these people without the pandemic. Never.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
And so I'm a real big person about digital and the online space and these online meetings. And I know everybody wants to get back to in person. And I can't tell you what being in these spaces with these new people did for me. We all ended up in something called the virtual event on virtual events, right?
TVE.
And so now it's TVE 1, 2, and here comes 3 coming around the corner. But it was life-changing. And, you know, in that program, they're like a strategy first philosophy. And so that's what it resonated with me. Okay. And I went into the program Leap. And so I, kind of spent the year doing that, learning how to do the event stuff I was doing, but from a strategy perspective and how people are using this online digital space to grow their business. And so I had to learn things. And I started taking Zoom training, which sounded weird at the time. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get certified in Zoom. And people are like, why? And I just felt like, you know what? Somebody's going to need this.
Exactly.
And I did it and I trained and I go to stuff and I produce. And you know me. I'm always in the background going, hey, let me show y'all this little thing I learned in this trick or whatever. Because I feel like that's a space where people were just sitting there leaving it behind. And now that they've had things planned since last year and they still have to produce them, or they realized how much they could save, there's just this really weird space we're in right now. And so they are looking for it. And in the last 2 months, really that knowledge has exploded in my business. And so I will get a call today and they'll be like, oh my God, are you free next Saturday? I've got this thing and it's online. And I mean, I've facilitation training, engaging virtual event training, virtual event producer training, Zoom training, coaching, business coach, all of that I invested in, even when I didn't have any money. That was God. I don't know how I was paying for that. You know what that cost, don't you?
Yep.
And I didn't really miss a beat. A few people helped me along the way for sure. And God positioned that to happen. But from not having any, I made it a year with no business really. and investing in myself.
And yourself.
So where was that coming from? And
but that's what people don't understand, Dorita, is that it's not, people look at it as spending money. And I always tell them, you're not spending, you're investing in you. And if you don't invest in you, who will?
Who will?
Who will?
Who will? People, I mean, and then that's when you feel like people are taking from you. And that's not it at all. And it helped me get clear about my value and my worth to other people, because I know the cost. I know what I paid to know what I know today so that I can help you next Saturday.
That's right.
I paid the cost for that. The time, the money, the investment, the late nights, the sleepless nights, oh my gosh, I've got to pay for this thing because I'm trying to learn and grow, and I got a bill due and all of that. And what it strengthened my spiritual fortitude also.
Yes.
Just because I know I am not unclear at all what happened. I'm not unclear. Yeah, Tiffany, I learned to invest in me first.
Invest in me first. And we know this name here, Sabrina Tika Talks.
Hey, yeah, so like Sabrina, like that's my love. That's my heart. That's my girl. And every time she says, basically like, hey, are you doing this? I already know. When she calls me and she puts it in the form of a question, that means you need to get that done.
Yeah.
And so I just like, what am I supposed to do? And help me do that. And I used to not do that because I was the person who helped everybody, Patrick. I didn't know how to ask for help for myself.
Okay.
I didn't know how to say, I don't know how to do that. I mean, and I was wasting time trying to learn everything. And when there's people like Sabrina who, can walk me through it and talk me through it. And, I was on her show, she was on mine, and you're here and you have your event and we supported each other. And, every time you look up and you see someone's name from this time that we've invested in each other over the last year, I can't even explain what that does to my heart. And I feel like I'm closer to some people that I met over this last year than people I've been in relationship with for a really long time. And I feel like I found people who understand what I'm doing and value it and respect it. And we're talking the same language. And, that moves me, that drives me, that helps me. And that helps me talk, because I can go tell one of y'all and y'all are going to be like, what are you talking about? You're going to give me what I give to other people. I can come and get refreshed and replenished in a space of people who want my good. Yeah. Like people sit someplace and think about things for me. And I never had that before. I never had someone plotting something, calling me going, this is what you need to do.
Yeah, this community has been awesome just in terms of Tika Talks. If you don't know what Tika Talks is, check my Facebook page, check Sabrina and Tika, and we've all attend Tika Talks on a Friday evening at 5:00. And we all share. It's been a tremendous blessing this past year. Yourself, Sabrina, Pam, Cindy, the whole community have been awesome.
Yeah, everybody.
Awesome. It's just been a tremendous blessing. And just hearing when you come on Friday evenings, hey, I can show you how to do that. I'm like, how does she know all this stuff?
Well, you know what, Patrick? And I was learning it as I went or whatever. And I am doing an event. I'm working on an event right now. It's the International Women's Conference. And there's people from all over the world. And I'm sitting in the background and I'm looking up and they're doing something. And I'm just like this. And then I'm going, so if you push that button and I have talked myself into some situations with this group and I can't even tell you. But again, it's that learning to like speak up. And everything I did was for this moment. And it's starting to come back around. And I think someone said I planted some seeds and there's some harvest right now. And
that's right.
I'm so blessed and I'm so appreciative and just trying to stay focused and keep it moving. Sabrina, you know we
I
clown.
know. Dorita, we can go on, and I
I
just
know. I really
looked at the
enjoyed this. I've been
clock.
waiting. Look, my little feelings were hurt because I was like, "Why hasn't Patrick invited me? I don't know what this is
Oh
about."
no!
But okay,
You knew your
so,
time was coming. Your time is coming. How could I not have invited you? Come
I
on
gotta
now.
be on the 30. Come on, Patrick. Come on now. I was like, he better hurry up.
Well, you're here, and it's such a great time. It's a great opportunity. I am so grateful and thankful for having you, and just knowing who you are and your passion and how you like to serve people and love people. It's been great. It's been great. So I want to thank you. Thank you for all that you do for all of us in the
Thank
community.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I get it back tenfold. I do.
You know,
Every day.
just continue doing what you're doing. Continue helping people, pouring into people. Those that have the ideas and don't know what to do with it, you are the guru from idea to execution. So if you want to connect with Dorita, I am going to put her information up here. Hey, here's our senior pastor. He says, thank you. This was great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Pastor B.
And I sent a little document. I think I sent you a link where it's just a little worksheet. It's real simple. And I did a recording just kind of walking through like your big, if you got a big idea and like walk through it. And there's you don't have to do anything with me, but if you want to, there's information on there. But and it can be as simple as that we just talk about it and get you going. We don't have to actually, do a whole lot together. And maybe there is an opportunity to do something together.
So I'm going to put that up. I'm going to post that in the comments. I'm going to grab it and post that in the comments. So
please.
you can always check back. It will be in the comments or up on our site. And there we go. So she's putting it up there already. You have a fan, a client, a friend. That Tiffany, she does not miss a beat.
That's Sabrina Trumpet.
She does not miss a beat. That
look, let me tell you, that is friends. Yeah.
Tiffany. We got to get you on the 30 too to talk about training. So Tiffany, thank you. Dorita, thank you so very much. Next week, we're going to have another person that's coming in, and I'm going to put her up. She's going to come in, Dorita, and she's going to be talking about women business owners. So you're going to like this too. But Dorita, I want to thank you for just coming into the 30, blessing us with your wisdom. If you would like to connect with Dorita, make sure that you do that. It's Dorita at dlhatchett.com. Dorita, do you want to give no, let's not give your number. But if you want to, you're more than welcome to. But I think this is enough. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and connectwithdorita.com is my calendar. And there's a lot of stuff on there because there's a lot of ways I meet with people, but there's a couple of free 15 and 30-minute spots. And so just grab one of those, connectwithdorita.com.
Awesome. Bless her and make sure that you connect with her. She's a great person, and trust me, she knows what she's doing. I've met lots and lots of people, and I can't vouch for them, but I can vouch for Dorita. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, we have been talking to Dorita Hatchett of DL Hatchett and Associates. Make sure that you connect with her. If you have an idea, you don't know what to do with it, connect with her. She will walk you through from idea to implementation or execution. Great person, very knowledgeable, great heart, and I can't speak enough about her. So, well, that's about it, folks. I would like to thank you for joining us. If you would like to join our community, I am going to put it up here. You can join the Jackman Group community. Go to jackmangroupllc.com and just hit join community. We would love to have you as a member of our community. On Tuesday, we do a lunch and learn hour. It's called the Lunch and Learn Hour. We're doing it once a month during the summertime. That's the second Tuesday of each month. So it is going to be on July 13th. That is this coming Tuesday from 12 to 1. Just 1 hour. It will be online, and it is for leaders, business owners, entrepreneur, any type of leadership. It's open to everyone. It's via Zoom. You just go to jackmangroupllc.com, join the community, and we will get the information out to you. But it's the second Tuesday of each month, and this month is going to be on the 13th. So make sure that you are there. Make sure that you're part of our community. And next week, we will have another wonderful guest. Stay tuned. Until then, may God bless you and your family. Be safe. See you next week.